fuzzy cat. Hello, other fuzzy cat. Both fuzzy cats. Set that as far away as possible. Strength 1. Front seat. Oh, I don't know how that's gonna be. Oh, let's get the chat visible. Beep boop. Now, that's the old dashboard. So, give me the YouTubes. Show me my channel. Apparently, this guy's live. That's pretty cool. Come on. Live. Chat stuff. Live chat. Come on. Mute this. Okay. Can't wait until that adapter is here and I have a monitor instead of a tiny little screen. Oh, very tiny. Hey, you said a little bit ago. More pumpkins. Very likely. I've actually got 2 that are in final stages right now. Everything right now, though, is also being taken up by the Witch Orb project. That is the main crux. Because I can do pumpkins. I have done pumpkins. Everybody knows pumpkins are possible. But is the Witch Orb possible? We don't know. We're hoping. God dang, we're hoping. I probably should go grab that cotton batting. So camera's gonna move a little bit. Alright. Cotton batting. Kitty cat in the way! Cotton batting. Yes, I'm obsessed with the Witch Orb right now. Well, the Witch Orb prototypes are all kind of in front of us now. Ooh. Now that came out well. That's like a rock. I love it. Okay. So, we have the witch bottles. The mountains of materials, the Witch Orb molds, the Witch Orb God, I hope this works, and will it work? We don't know. Not everybody can afford this material, so I don't want to use it. Hey Sarah, how we doing? Oh, thanks. I love making stuff. More importantly, I love making stuff when I have people to chat with and enjoy it with. Making stuff all alone kind of... I mean, you can do it. quote Paul Hogan and Crocodile Dundee, you can live on it, but it tastes like spit. Let me get this corked. This is my last bottle before I go on the meds that make it so I cannot or should not be doing alcohol. I'm not going to disobey my doc. So this is the last night of with wine. Alright, tonight we got to stain this witch bottle, which is the hockey puck one. There's the experimental hockey puck. Need to come up with a strap system for underneath it, which should be disgustingly easy. A little extra Velcro, no problem. Done. Hey Angela, how we doing? Then, I don't know. I know I'm going to be obsessing about these witch orbs for a while, though. That is happening. Until I can make them work. Hey, Twisted. How's it going tonight? How's the puppy? Pucho any better? Alright. I really like this orb. Really, really like it. I want to secure it a little bit more. I like it. Well, this one's okay, but it doesn't feel anywhere near as solid as that. Well, that's good that he's alright. Beats the alternative. As long as he's okay. Not too bad. Alright. Cotton batting. Oh, put paper in. Cotton batting. Determined that to do the witch orb correctly, I've got to have my translucent bulb as the bottom layer. I like this concept, I just don't think that's going to work in the long run. So, I have two experimentals here. One is Scott Towel Mache for the orb, and the other one is cotton batting mache for the orb. But the cotton batting orb is incomplete. I've got to finish that up now. $5 as I left my favorite brush over by the sink. God dang it. I hear you there, Twisted. I got some new benches for my classroom. New workbenches. But they are a little bit taller than the desks that my students use. So if I go over there with the standard size chair that they provide for my classroom, it is just not tall enough. I'm staring at the edge of the workbench. And I dislike that. I dislike that significantly. Alright, let's get that in there. Alright. Let's patch up these gaps. Let's move failed experiments to the failed experiment bin. Turns out that cannot make a clear plastic coating for the witch orb using milk jug plastic, which I was very excited to discover. 8 foot, 2 foot. That's pretty darn good. Very good. Just got to make sure it doesn't turn into a, oh, just put this here for a little while and store it. It's been sitting on the table for a while. It's just temporary. It's just gonna be here for a little while. Just storage. It's okay. It's not permanent. I fall into that trap all the time. So for this cotton batting ball, I went with the watered down glue as opposed to full mache paste, and I'm kind of regretting it because my other translucent orb experiment feels a lot more solid. And I use paste on that one. Feels a ton more solid. My mug is hiding off camera. Okay, good. As long as you have a designated storage area that is not in tandem with the table. Otherwise, terrible things happen. One thing I kind of wish I had right now is a drying station. I used to have one in the other room, but I moved a spare bed in there, so a buddy of mine would have a place to crash that wasn't on the floor when he came to visit. But there used to be 2 fans and 2 heat lamps. I'm kind of wishing I still had that going. Just looking to patch any spots on this batting orb that seem way too thin. Oh no, gotta sneeze. Gotta sneeze. Can't, maybe. I hate indecisive sneezes. Absolutely hate them. Oh yeah. Hey Emily, how we doing? Nice, Twisted. Very nice. It's good to have an expansive craft area. Ooh, pardon. Oh yeah. Well, tonight's the last night of alcohol. Start the med tomorrow that does not like to be taken with alcohol, and I believe what my doctors say. They've been to a lot more schooling than I have. So when they say don't do that, I try to not do that. This watered down glue sucks. Maybe it's good enough on mache, but that other thing is paper towel, for God's sakes, and it's twice as stiff as this stuff is. I don't know. It's an appetite suppressant. to help me out with my weight. So we'll see. I don't imagine it'll be a long-term thing. Ideally want to get things under control, get on a good track. Perfectly that good track will be independent, and the meds will be just there to help it along, but I don't know. I really don't know. Hey, Finny, how we doing? I like having you around. Don't have to craft, you can just be in the mood to be mildly entertained by watching people do stuff. I was just watching some streamers on Twitch. I wasn't playing the games they played. I never played those games, but it was pretty entertaining just to watch them. So, hey, we have some fun. Hey, Crafty Dirt. That's the other thing you can do. Yeah, just have it going. Somebody else crafting there. I find that always helps, honestly. If you got somebody else in the area. Even just the sound of somebody else, presumably. Still in good shape. Alright, there is secondary prototype witch orb, which I'm still going to work on, because this still might work. Possibly. Gotta set a boundary on it, though. The one fear with this unit is that even if it does work, there's got to be space to get into that battery chamber and put things on. I wonder if I might build it in 2 halves. Wow, these are... Man, I like iron. That's awesome. Strength of this cotton and paste is formidable. Very good stuff. No, I don't think it hardly lost any. But the simple fact that I'm not inflating it to maximum, it just doesn't have the pressure inside. So with the latex not stretched as much, I can see why it's just not branching out. It's all good, Emily. I'm tired as heck. I only got about 5 hours of sleep last night, but I really enjoy this, so that's what we do. Alright. Not yet too much here. If that's the underside, then the top side's got to be... God, that's a horrible sound! At least that. Got to be able to get a battery compartment in there. Battery compartments are at least that wide. No idea still what I'm going to use as an internal. Oh dear. Still a 5.5 foot tall alien. That is a feat to accomplish right there. A major coup. Alright. Let's do some work. What needs doing first? Let's get batting on that. A secondary saturation chamber is right there. I've already mixed this. This project's going to go over here. Just throwing stain on that is something I can do while I need everything else to dry. Yeah, kids will take it right out of you. I see some people doing those big projects, and my hat is off to you. Absolutely. I look at that and go, wow. You put in your time. They always look pretty darn good. But the only time I kind of hold my breath on a project is if folks have like 1,000,001 things in their scene that are very disjointed. Like, I've got an alien scene, but I've also got Freddy Krueger and Jason and Hellraiser and, you know, Charlie Brown and the Great Pumpkin. It's like, you mixed a lot of stuff in there. Very cool. A female alien. You going for just the standard, like, Area 51 gray? I like the trees, particularly the ones with the kind of the fiberglass stuff going up. People have made some beautiful spooky haunted trees. Amazing stuff. Hey, Sergeant Patrick, how we doing? Oh, good. You went out on your own. Fantastic. Best way to go. Your stuff does not look like everybody else's stuff. Best stuff. That's why I don't put movie monsters in my haunts. I can't stand them. What's behind the eyes? Cool. What color lights did you go for? Reds, greens, blues? What color stares out and scares all the kitties? Neon green. Very cool. I'm becoming more partial to the neons as I did the witch bottle project. The simple fluorescing effect is remarkably effective and eye-catching in the dark. Yeah, I was that way earlier, Southern. 100%. Just outside walking around. Just terrible. Terrible. But summer is not my season. Not by a long stretch. Let's get this leveled off, so it's a more unified bottom, because it's going to be hanging like that, ideally. Okay. The battery chamber down there. Alright. At this point, all this batting is really just for substance more than anything. Right, no, it's not just not that. Yeah, they did come out pretty well for the bottles, I gotta say. It's such an easy project. Who'd have thought that mache-soaked cotton strips would have, or just cotton balls, would have so much versatility in their look. I am still very surprised at how cool and simple it is. I tend to agree with you, Angela. Absolutely. Summer is for summery people who do summery things by beaches and lakes and with camping things. And though I do love camping, I haven't been in a very long time. It's been too long indeed. Okay, that's about 2 layers of batting. Except in that one spot. I really want 2 layers throughout. Yep, I'm with you. Cold weather and thunderstorms is the only way to fly. Because there's the fun sensation of being hot as hell and then coming into an air-conditioned apartment, and that's nice. But I don't think it matches the sensation of being outside and being cold and then coming into a warm location and warming up. I also think it's easier to warm up than it is to cool down. Alright, let's get some raw cotton. Uh-oh, I'm gonna have to sit around and peel apart cotton balls tonight. Assuming I don't fall asleep. Well, that means I'm gonna be doing it tomorrow while I'm off stream. Camping at the hill. Can't say I've ever really camped at the Hilton before. Been in some nice places. But my wallet was too aware that I was at nice places. Entirely too aware. There's actually a very good Facebook thing about being white, Angela. There's a guy at the beach and he's taking off his shirt and he just lights up like a camera flash and blinds all the beachgoers around him. And the other storms I know are the New York thunderstorms, and they're not bad. They're not bad. My area doesn't really get enough of them for my liking. Storms seem to just cascade through here. They don't stick around, or they split before they hit my area, and I get bypassed to both the north and south. I'm not a fan of that. I would imagine Thailand gets some epic stuff. I forget, do they don't get caught by a monsoon wind, do they? I'm not sure if that carries out there. I think they do, but I'm not 100%. We're going to need let's just mush that in and push that on. Have faith in the great provider of mache that it will bond together. probably ought to make this stuff all a little bit more visible from you guys' perspective. Otherwise, it's just like, what's he doing? He's working on the other side of the project, I guess. Just before the tsunami. That must have been interesting sensation. You leave and hear the, hey, a few days later, that place got wrecked. I do love a big thunderclap as well. Especially those kind of heart-stopping thunderclaps where it's like, you know that hit somewhere close. Because it was flash crack! Well, bam! That was near. Now, mind you, I don't like those constantly throughout a storm, but, you know. Just enough to remind you that you're in the thick of it. Well, the concept, Bill, is that we're going to have much the same effect as the witch light, or the witch bottle, but with an orb. And I kind of want like 3 ropes coming off this thing, kind of like a church censer that gets swung with incense in it. I want this thing to be that kind of motif, but I want it to be all sorts of woodsy, branchy, dark, evil, scary looking light. Or I shouldn't say dark, evil, scary looking light. I want green, unearthly, scary looking light. Oh, wow, Angela. So they're probably all quite submerged by now. That is just wrecked. What am I talking about? The Thailand tsunami didn't make the ocean rise. It would have just flattened the landscape. Woo! It's a bad night for sciencing in my head. Just not syncing up. Yeah, it's alright, Sergeant. It's alright. I want to put a few more Tim Burton looking curls in this, though. Because as far as I'm aware at this point, this material has the strength to handle it. These lower pieces that are dry are like iron. It would take a good solid blast of wet to get them discombobulated. I think I have just enough raw cotton left here to finish this one out. The one I'm really kind of excited for is this prototype, where I've already got the translucent shell on it, and it's going to just need top, bottom, put in lights, see how it holds. And this material is all paper towel mache paste. And we also have a cotton batting and white glue watered down piece here to see if I can get the orb going, because the translucent interior is the only part that vexes me. The outer section, with the branchiness and the cottons, that's easy. I've been doing that on the witch bottles for days now. That is not tough. But the translucent wall, I racked my brains last night trying to find good alternatives. I looked at those orbs you sent. I looked at like lighting fixture round bulbs that you put on lampposts. How much is just the round part? Like if you bought it as a replacement piece, it's all too expensive. It's gonna look amazing. I am not. No, I'm not gonna sand it. Just because on this one, this is only about 1 to 2 layers of Scott towel macheted in. So if light can't get through that, then it's not a viable option. And I kind of like the wrinkly look to the exterior. So the other problem that these are going to have is that before I do anything with this, I got to put a coat of varnish on. Otherwise, there's going to be wrinkly stuff on the top. I'm going to apply the wood stain to it. The wood stain is going to sink right into this paper towel, and I'll have a totally brown ball. And I need to make sure that the wood stain stays only on the cotton, and whatever translucent surface I have beneath it remains simply white and translucent. So that's another problematic area to this. Yes, I am brilliant, damn it. I have an eye for the spooky. Because why would you go for the lesser evil? We'll see, though. We'll see. That's why we're prototyping. I had one person send me a message. They looked at my first live stream. Did I miss all the instructions? And, hey, there's no instructions for a live stream. This is all prototype. This is all the work we do before we make the how-to video. This is why people who go, "You need to make more videos," tick me off sometimes. You have no idea what goes into making these things. Yep, still use spar varnish. Right now I've got a thing of spar urethane, which is effectively the same thing. I know it's not really the same thing, but that covers all the same bases. It's also a little bit more clear coat, whereas the spar urethane that I've used in the past was more of a yellow gold look to it. So I kind of like this for this project in particular because I need a translucent clear surface. Tissue paper mache. I could use tissue paper mache. It's going to be very, very similar to the Scott towel mache. That's the whole thing I'm trying to find out there, Crafty. Does it stay transparent? How much stuff can I add to it and still maintain, at the very least, translucency? I know that when I hit it with the spar urethane, the translucency will increase. I don't know by how much, and I don't know if it's going to be enough. I gotta braid some of these. Individual twists are good, but gotta have a couple double twists. I'll know they're there. Nobody else will see them, but I'll know. I haven't seen Death from Hellboy. Only the weird-looking angel-y thing from Hellboy 2. Haven't seen the comics. Oh yeah, still spar varnish. Though currently, again, spar urethane. Well, thank you, Sergeant. You know, spar urethane is pretty much the same darn stuff. Still waterproofs. Still does all the bits. It's fine. Totally fine. Let's get some wisps. Tease them out. There we go. I don't know, Stacy. I'm gonna finish up the 2 I got. They've been sitting in this craft room for almost 2 years now, and I want them out. One of them's got a lot of this experimental cotton effect on it. I know that's gonna look great because the Witch Bottle project is... It's probably one of the more visually appealing of the projects I have done, particularly to my own personal haunt aesthetic. I absolutely adore this twisted branch look. Completely, totally, utterly adore it. This is my version of a truly epic haunt. These branch wraiths and foul things from dark woods. My ideal. Ah, you were talking about Hellboy 2. Yep. Good. I'm on the same page then. That was a cool looking critter. Very cool looking critter. Some more floppy bits. Ooh, that's perfect. Let's see how many of these things survive the popping of the balloon and the inserting of whatever translucent backing I can come up with for this. This one I'm kind of thinking like pieces of paper plate, a little curved, stuffed into the back sections, because that'll let light through without a problem. But I'm going to stain the stuff first. That way whatever backing I put on is done. I don't have to worry about the bleed through. Yeah, this does do fur. Oh yeah, no problem, Stacy. Where's a finished Witch Bottle? Rawr! There we go. Alright, your guys' field of view will see it best if I put it up there. Let's put an impressive side facing out. So that one is a completed Witch Bottle, and it has a light, which, let's see if you can see it on that screen, because I'm going to do it on mine in a minute. No, you can't. It looks no different. How about now? So the fluid inside is glowing. Yeah, that's more visible. Good. And there's off versus on. And that's one of the bad ones. And you don't have to use that bottle, you can use one of these. Where's the remote for that one? That's the one where the remote wandered off. Well, that's right. It's got the switch underneath. There we go. Yes, that new one with the hockey puck light is, I think, one of the best. Absolute best, hands down. Hands down, no contest. It's amazing. So, let's get my light source going again. Woo! Hey. I can see clearly now, the light is on. Let's bulk up this one. I can see all the cotton balls in my face. A little too small. Make it part of it anyway. I have labeled the remotes, yes. I just lost the one for the square one. It was supposed to be velcroed into the bottom, but it has wandered off somewhere. Fortunately, it can't have gone far, and at the moment I am not concerned enough to spend gratuitous amounts of time looking for it. It will turn up because it's right in the project area somewhere. And I am really stoked to work on the orb, because I think the orb is going to blow the bottles out of the water. The only problem with the orb that I'm having right now is, well, I would say it's taking a while, but it's taking a while because this is prototype. That's the only reason it is being vaguely arduous. It's the first ones. First ones always take longer. Yeah. In this case, the ones are on just the bottom. Actually, this one, the lights are inside the bottle. The other ones, the lights are only in the bottom shining up. But the fluid inside is filled with highlighter fluid, so it picks up the fluorescence really, really easily. And consequently, it fluoresces. And you see the whole thing, which looks amazing. Alright, branch. Bulky enough. Probably bulky enough. Done. Needs tiny branches. That whole section there needs tiny branches. Yes, it is almost exactly 2 a.m. In fact, let's ask my faithful secretary. Alexa, what time is it?
It's 2 a.m.
Ha-ha! Right on the dot. You know, that would not surprise me in the least, Sergeant. In the least. You're paying more attention to that stuff than me. I'm gonna hide your little clicky thing. What probably would happen is he would go by it, the remote got out from under it, the Velcro snagged his fur, and he dragged it somewhere. That is entirely possible. Absolutely, entirely possible. Alright, this should be the last bit that I need for this project. Then we will use any extra pieces to patch the batting ball. We'll add a little bit more Scott towel to the Scott towel translucence experiment. I will varnish those off stream because that's incredibly boring. And then I'll spend all night tearing up cotton balls. Do this more. Thank you, Onion Girl. I have a good time doing this. It's good to be back in the saddle, as it were. This live streaming is everything I needed. Just having some folks to chat with and craft with. Cat always wants love. In fact, it's funny. I moved into this room. The one who was sleeping in the other room came into this room, is now sleeping in here. I really do not do Christmas stuff as well. The amount of time and energy that it takes to go into this kind of crafting, I can't really do it for every single holiday. Plus, in the Christmas time, I know my stuff is going to get outside and snowed on, and water is the true enemy of paper mache. Alright, do I have any Tim Burton curls? Nope, which means we need some Tim Burton curls. Let's do a Tim Burton curl here. Let's make sure this is pointy enough for a Tim Burton curl. Twist. Look it around. I have put a light through those, yes. It seems to be alright, but it was also in daylight. And I know that stuff is not as thick as, say, a paper plate, which is kind of my mind's eye guide for translucence. And if a light will go through that without too much trouble, then a light will go through this stuff. It's my... Will it shine? The other thought I had was to put whatever light source I wanted in there, and then just take polyester fluff and stuff it in there as well. So it's maybe not the orbiest of orbs, but I still have a definitive light source in there. That's fine. Alright, got a Tim Burton curl there. That should be fine. I would like another one that's coming up from the bottom. Can I get one coming down from the top? That'd be a good spot for one. I agree with you, Sergeant, but also it's the These LEDs, quite frankly, I've been pretty impressed with in terms of the amount of light. They really do deliver quite a blast. Especially the fairy string lights. And especially the colored ones, and I've ordered 12 more of the colored ones for that self-same reason. More. Twist them up, twist them up, twist them up. Stuff them in, stuff them on. Twist them over. Nice. Nice. All right. However, that's not going to bond unless I fold a bit in there. And that's good, Stacy. I always start mine early. Because a lot of it's dependent on the amount of time you personally have. Not everybody can devote massive amounts of time to the pumpkin project. Some folks may only have, a half hour, even 20 minutes a day. And of course, that's the great thing about it too, is it's patient. It'll just sit there. It's waiting for you. It's not in any hurry. All right, Tim Burton curl. Let's get that well saturated with paste. I'm afraid if I don't, someone didn't wash his brush yesterday. Bad drac. Oh, I shook it up. It's okay. I ordered the beach balls for the witch project. I already have a bunch of 20-inch beach balls for pumpkins, but now I'm gonna have a whole bunch of 6 inchers for witch orbs. So we'll see what. Oh, I gotta change that water. Gotta see which method is the best. Hey, Natalie. I don't know if I could do Hotel Transylvania. I haven't seen that one in quite a while. A strobe could actually look quite good in one of these. Very good. Yeah, me too, Emily. I am so stoked to see how these come out. Just the style of the branchiness is magnifique. UFO drones. Now you got to make up his mind for him, Twisted. Alright. Alright, I got a Burton curl there, I got a Burton curl there. This side here is the only side that is not interesting enough. So let's make a tiny little split off. Give me a braid. Braid, 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 braid. Match in, mush on. Good. Okay. Want to have enough left on this to patch the other one. So that one is done until it dries. So that'll be tomorrow, unfortunately, until we get to kibitz with that. But there's enough space to put in everything that needs putting in. Here's the project I wasted a ton of time on because having that in there is not going to work. Here's this. Raw cotton. Open it up. Show me a weak spot. Here's one. I should have used mache paste with this one. It'll be a lot better than the watered down glue. A lot firmer. I could still add it. Spot there. Weak spot there. I want that more splayed out. Light does not go through this terribly well. Let's see here. The fish tank sound is because I need a fan. It is just way too humid around here. Sorry about that. I didn't find it to be so bad that it's, just horrible. Yeah, the tutorial should be quite good for this. I got to make sure I include all the options. And, the bottle tutorial is going to be easy. The witch orb tutorial is going to be more thought-provoking. Tutorial, Bell. Tutorial. Yep, Twisted's got you covered. I'm not twitching until I have a monitor up in here. I am still consigned to using my tablet for chat until, I think, Tuesday. At that point, the proper DVI connector for my graphics card should arrive, and I will be streaming to both YouTube and the Twitch Creative channel. At least that's the plan. We'll see how that pans out. Last time it was one wrong part off of perfection, and that might happen again. Who knows? Any more weak spots? Yep, right there. A lot of this is also going to depend on how much the translucency of these balls increases when they are urethaned. Well, let's go to these remaining spots. Put them on there. There. Have a thing. The rest is going in the garbage because I am not going to nitpick that. Hopefully we don't hit the cat, and I missed the cat. Good. Hey Miranda, welcome to the stream. I just started live streaming, 5 days ago? Figure it'd be fun to get things going. Miranda, we are making witch bottles and witch orbs. The witch bottles are like this. The witch orbs are utter prototypes, but will look like that. I probably could use layers of tissue paper. I just don't have any tissues in the house. But I have lots of Scott towels, so that was the easier of the options to do. And we should probably do a quick lighting check on this. I am not putting that in the bottom of that icky thing. Be careful, because that's got Velcro. Now there is latex in there. I can't see anything. So we still got balloon. Well, I'm seeing some light coming through, even through 2 layers. I wonder if I have one that is... This one's got sharp pieces of Velcro on that. If I mush that against the balloon, it's going to pop. Let's prep a fresh one. I'm not seeing light coming through. Oh, very cool, Miranda. That's useful. I love paper clay. It's just the greatest material for haunters, especially haunters on a budget. Only problem I have with it is it's sometimes a little pain in the neck to make in terms of getting it just right. Yeah. Oh, twisted. That keeps happening to you for some reason. I love my sense of humor too. It keeps me sane when the universe is going woohoo. I do like these lights. These have a lot of brightness, and they're AAAs, which is what I love. I am sick and tired of using non-standard batteries for my stuff. If I can't get it at Walmart or a drugstore or a gas station, I am not using it in my haunt anymore. Way too problematic. A lot more difficult than it needs to be. So, yeah, that's fine. That is absolutely fine. Doing the reds very nicely. Because it's a pink balloon, and obviously that's why. Yeah. Yeah, that'll work just fine. Okay, off. Let's get some light back on. Woo! Ah! I recommend Paper Mache Miranda. It is super, super easy and surprisingly versatile. Yeah, definitely fuzz everywhere. I do not stream every night, but lately I'm obsessed, so I like getting some work done, and it's working out. Yeah, it'll be a lot better when the balloon is gone. So now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to urethane this thing. I was going to add some more layers, but I'm not gonna. I'm I'm just going to add urethane now. So I don't think it's going to be that hugely necessary. All right, I thought my urethane was there. Oh, it's moved over here. I'm glad I have a rather large crafting table. This would be impossible to juggle all this crud without it. May find in the end that this shea ball needs to be more layers because the urethane may make it even more transparent, perhaps even too transparent. How to attach horns to it? When I attach weird things that stick out to my projects, I like to use 8-gauge wire. Have that be the core of whatever it is. The 8-gauge wire is very unlikely to come off. Now, if you have spindly, stocky things that are sticking out, 8-gauge wire is less likely to collapse and bend. However, it is a pain in the arse to cut and a pain in the arse to bend correctly to the way you want it. But once it's there, it's in pretty good shape. Foil and mache. Attach them with paste and clay. You could do that. If I were you, I would use an epoxy resin. So when those things go on, they do not release. Period. Good old styrofoam mannequin heads. Awesome bases for masks. Absolutely awesome. The last bottle of drink. Yep. Okay. I do not want the urethane at the very top, nor do I want it along the bottom edge. It seeps there, but otherwise I don't want it there. I also don't want my hands coated in paint thinner, but this is the life we choose. Yeah. Alright, great. Paint thinner, you go in there. Why you're still in the brush, I don't know. I thought I squeegeed you off pretty well. Ew. Why am I dropping drops of paint thinner into my paint? That just doesn't make any sense. I will reconnect with you in a sec, chat. I gotta put a little bit of concentration into this. Trying for a very particular coating strategy. swap the bulbs. I also wanted to put cellophane on there. We're going to see how that works. I'm still a little scared. Well, what's done is done. It will do itself later. Let's wire this back on. Can't urethane the other one because it's still drying. I'll finish that with a hammer later. Okay, where were we? I don't want urethane on the bottom or the top because I want a spot where the paper mache paste and the paper can still interact with the cotton and form a strong bond. If I have them completely isolated, I can't guarantee that the two of them will be stuck to each other. Well, if you don't use it outside, now you don't really need to varnish. But it's always handy. It protects your project from scratches and other bits of nastiness. That is dripping, of course. I was afraid that would happen. Okay, well, here. Drip in this bucket. Not on the floor. Alright, cotton matting chunks. Cotton matting chunks. Spray material. Leftover raw cotton. Leftover piece. Hey, the square string light remote! Yeah! I said on. Pumpkin colors, yeah. Off. And because the square string light remote also turns those on, that and Velcro back on the bottom, all self-contained again. Perfect. That's a load off too. Let's get this witch bottle finished. While I'm still in the construction phase, let's make a cradle for the light. Let's get these pieces of Velcro off. They didn't work. Yeah, using that slit method wouldn't be too bad. You just really want those parts bonded together. And if they're not currently on there, I'd drill up through the bottom of the mask and again mount some wire in there. I don't know how big the horns are. If they're tiny horns, you don't need that, but if they're big, like, you know, Hellboy in full glory horns, then yeah, wire time. Yeah, these bottles are gonna be great, and they're an excuse to empty some bottles. I mean, who doesn't love that? These pieces of Velcro gone. These pieces of Velcro also need to be gone. Otherwise, they're just going to block the light. This little piece of cotton tore right off. Off. There's one more in here. There it is. Off. Okay. How, oh how, shall we keep that thing in there? Off. I think a little cardboard flapjack will do it just fine. Can't wait to have my monitor. There we go. I actually have several little styrofoam skulls that I was thinking about mounting to the side of this. It's one of the possibilities. Take care, Miranda. Good having you around. Swing back through if you ever feel like it. And I'll be here until I'm, done obsessing about this project, and then less sporadically after that. Good old Chris Angel. Okay, I need... cardstock square. Properly sized, mostly. Good. Should have left an extra piece on there. Oh well. Okay. Light goes in. Let's attach a pull tab. Glue gun. Garbage falling everywhere. Too close to my drink. You're right, it's not delivery. It's a box that's been sitting in here since the dawn of time. The original thought for that material that we're saving was to use it around the eyes of the pumpkins, but didn't do that very much. Okay, so this is going to go in there, and this is going to be a pull tab positioned about there. And then we just need some Velcro. In fact, I can do that right there. That'll be easy. Easy peasy, done. Alright, time for the old wait for the glue gun to warm up. I do need a bigger craft table. What I need are more like shelves around that have all the stuff. I need like a I need my glue gun to be on some sort of pull down thing from the ceiling, and then it goes back up and everything right to hand. Fortunately, Emily was able to keep my lust for cardstock contained. I have only one small box filled up with the admonition that I must use that one before I do any others. I have the same thing with books right now. I must read the ones I have, or at least some of the ones I have, before I get more. Otherwise, your book collection just turns into a book hoarder convention. While I love my books, this apartment is only so large. Coke flats. Flattened Coke bottles? That's what I think of when you say that. Gotta be careful with Pinterest, though. Pinterest is a black hole of scrolling. Ooh, that looks neat. I'll do that someday. Pin. Ooh, that looks neat. I'll do that someday. Pin. Before you know it, it's Wednesday, and that is, of course, another way to do it. Marry somebody who is not as much of a hoarder as you are. Ah, the cases of Coke coming. Gotcha. That makes a lot more sense than a flattened Coke bottle. Okay, are we squeezing? Not enough. Not enough. Empty garden's cool. I always wanted to be able to make like a full graveyard column mausoleum castle-y looking thing. I've accepted it probably will not happen. Mostly because my concepts of a good haunt are changing quite a bit. We're gonna go for this. You're going in there. You're gonna go there. Problematic. Alright, that's as far as it needs to go. So now we can pry it back. Push it into the side. It's going to need a trim so it doesn't stick. Good. This one is easy. This is going to need to be shorter. Over there. That closes behind you. That sits there. But up a little bit because we're going to put Velcro on that. It's going to be right about there. Back in here, you. Up there. It's going to be a little shorter. That's good enough. All right, Velcro. Storage is always one of the biggest problems for haunters. Never have enough. Unless you actually own a haunt, you're only doing it usually one day a year, sadly. That's that. Pardon. Take care and have a good night, Southern. See you on some other time when you're less tired. Okay. This may need to be a little bit shorter to clear the Velcro. But that should be fine. Let's do fuzzy part on the side. Right there. Make sure this thing is really as far up as we can get. Yep. Let's make sure that's not leaking. Yep. Non-stop crafting! Yay! Okay. That goes there. This goes here. That flops down. Good. I love my job. Velcro on this thing. Fire up a little more incense. Spooky brew, scary night, ghostly glow. I really like ghostly glow. Ghostly glow. Words. Words are very difficult. Night, Stacy. We'll see ya. Dry brushing is awesome. Do more of it. Hopefully you'll be seeing a tutorial on how to make witch bottles and witch orbs pretty soon. With any luck. Where's my lighter? There it is. There we go. Wonderful. Oh, venison roast. Jealous, 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 jealous. Have a good night, Naomi. Yep, I should be around. I can't guarantee I'll be awake later, but I'll be around. I have no idea specifically what I'm going to burn into that wood disc. In my search for cool, creepy sigils, I came across a alien language from a game called Dead Space, which I think is probably one of the better in terms of generically creepy, witchy-looking glyphs. I am probably going to throw something from that alphabet in there, because I think that's where it's at. That, or I'm going to find a very, very primitive Stone Age symbol that looks alright in there, because I got 2 pieces of cotton draping over it, and whatever I burn in there can't overlap those, because I kind of hoosafudged that up and didn't do it right to begin with. But that's okay. I have never actually played Dead Space, but I've seen the animated movies that they have done based on it. And I thought those were quite good. And the way the glyphs are done in that is likewise quite good. It's tough to find good spooky symbol alphabets. I do not want to use Norse runes because I kind of follow a Norse spiritual persuasion. So that's not Halloween fantasy realm for me. But video game stuff, yeah, what the hell? Alright, so that's going to go right up there. Booyah. I shouldn't need the hot glue gun for a while. Hopefully. You do need the remote though to turn off that light. That way my haunt personnel should not ever be looking for remotes. Garbage, 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 garbage. Gather the garbage. Untreated garbage turns into clutter. This is my garbage bin for tonight. Let's put it over here where it can become a piece of clutter. Alright, let's get this witch bottle done. Because whether I would burn that now or later won't make a difference. Yeah, it should be pretty slick. I really don't think this thing needs any work. I think this is the brightest of all the ones I've done so far. And it's probably going to be the one that I recommend the most in the tutorial. It's going to be simple, it's going to be easy. It's going to be fun. And fun's the most important. There we go. And it should need one touch-up, I think. I also do want to stain the disc, though I want to stain the disc a little bit lightly compared to everything else. Much my most favorite part of a project is that spot when you apply the paint or the dry brush and everything just kind of reveals itself. All the invisible details you put in earlier become visible. I hear you there, Karen. Honestly, when I was in the UK, I was surprised at times at the things that I just could not get, which were relatively common and simple in the States. Hardware was definitely a big one of those items. Because you could go to M&S and you could get some stuff, but if you needed, tools, screwdrivers, DIY stuff, you had to go to practically like this is the special DIY store, which is all, ooh, and, you're a crazy, interesting person for coming in here. Most everybody else just buys their stuff, and wow. You guys have a culture of consumption going on in some places. Oh, the joint compound. I have had, assuming I've got that right in what you're talking about, I have had people from no less than 4 other countries asking me questions about joint compound. Saying, where the hell do you get this stuff? What the hell is this stuff? Yeah, that is, for some reason, a nightmare to get in other places, or a nightmare to find the local name. Because it might be there, but it's called something completely different. I didn't see any borax when I was over there. Though if you go for a chemical supply, you can get it. Just don't expect it to find it for doing laundry. I'm not sure if borax is banned. I don't know if it's banned or just not available in stores over there. I know I didn't see it when I was over there. Yeah, if you drink 6 gallons of water, you're probably going to be toast too, so it's moot. Banned in the EU. Well, is Brexit going to save you, Karen? We're out of the EU. Borax is back, baby. Love this project. It's super cheap and lots of fun. And can be done by anyone. The Tide Pods. Though if you want to watch something funny, go and take a look at the College Humor Tide CEO responds to Tide Pods. That is hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. It's time to give them something fun they'll talk about for years to come. Welcome, I got a 5-meter tall doll, paper mache. That's pretty cool. There's been a lot of, I don't even want to say it's hidden, but there's a lot of amazing paper mache artwork out there. Even if it's like pressed paper, some of the Venetian masks that some people do are mache based, and they're just gorgeous. It's almost unfortunate that for most folks, as an art form, you're really only exposed to it, at least in the U.S., in like kindergarten. You make a model of the solar system with paper mache, and then that's your outlook on it for the rest of your life. Is it's something that kids do in kindergarten. That's it. Very stupid kids. I remember when they were doing the cinnamon challenge. Personally, all I could think of was the person who came up with the quote-unquote challenge was laughing all the way to the web. It's like, oh my god, I can't believe they did it. What a bunch of maroons. I have seen Ultimate Paper Mache. Gourmet Paper Mache rings a bell. I may have glanced at it before, but I don't believe I have frequented it. Why were they doing the Tide Pods? Well, they're very colorful, and in a certain light, if you put them in a bowl, they could look like little candies. I suppose, to somebody who's an idiot. And the cinnamon challenge was, can you eat a tablespoon or a teaspoon, some spoon size of cinnamon, and not absolutely lose your guts? Because cinnamon, when you put it in your mouth, slurps up every last bit of available water. It is incredibly, my brain wants to say the word is hygroscopic, but it slurps up water like you would not believe. And consequently, you suddenly get the driest mouth and throat you have ever gotten, and there is no way around it. So your body quite naturally responds by coughing violently to get this garbage out of your system. Oh, I've seen the dragon sculptures. Yes, I have indeed. Very talented fellow. I've seen several of his. I was impressed with them. I just had no great inclination to put a dragon on my wall. He also uses a lot of kind of put the paint on and then wipe it off. And I understand that is an established artistic technique. It's very useful. Somehow there's something about it that just makes my thrifty brain short circuit. Yeah, we're going to put it on. Okay, it's on. We're going to wipe it off. But you're wiping like 90% of it off. If you're wiping that much off, why did you put that much on to begin with? Hygroscopic, thank you. The pronunciation slipped from my mind. Yes, cinnamon is incredibly hygroscopic. Kids in the U.S. have entirely too much time on their hands. Depending on where they are and the position and aptitude of their parents. I was resting my arm in the lid of the stain the entire time. But it was so comfy. So comfy. Woo! Straight stupidity also plays a significant role. The culture of ignorance in the U.S. has been on the amplification for many a decade. Many a decade. For that matter, the culture of ignorance is rising in many first world countries. Be the drug dealer, be the thug, be the criminal, be the crook. See, they're $1 million. They didn't even have to work for it. Don't go to school. It's stupid. They're just going to make you do hard work and try to learn. Yo, don't get me started, Sergeant. Teachers are trying to pull everybody out of the gutter. Not to say there's not bad teachers out there. Everybody's had one. I just try not to be one. I don't know about homework, honestly. I think homework is very, very, very overrated. Hey, Branson Haunted Hills. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. I'm just putting some finishing touches on a witch bottle here. Been working on the witch orbs earlier, which are all in prototype phase. I think I've only got one more facing to do on this before it is good to go. Minus a final check to catch all the nooks and crannies I missed. I love Idiocracy, Twisted Knots. I do believe also that's, in no small effect, a process that is happening. To a greater or lesser extent, depending on where you are. Thanks, Branson. I absolutely adore this project. This one kind of... I don't know where in my imagination it rose from, but the assemblage of it has exceeded my wildest expectations for a creepy prop. Simple, I should say, cheap, simple, creepy prop reality. This thing has just blown it out of the water. Yeah, I hear you, Twisted. I hear you entirely. Oh well. The only thing I always have to tell myself is that if you look in, papers and diatribes from the 1700s, all the older folks were going, "Oh, this generation is just terrible. All the kids, they're not doing this, they're not doing that. The whole world is doomed. We're screwed." And no matter which century you look at some of the documentation and the rants from, you will always find that motif. So I try to remind myself that even though it might be driving me up an absolute wall and I think everything is doomed, this has been happening for a very long time, and we're still here, and enough people still prop up the rest of it. It's not really creativity, it's just, hey, I bet when these things come together, this will happen. Let's try it. Oh, yeah. It's experimentation. It's science. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Alright, let's not go too crazy looking for nooks and crannies right now. If I see glaring ones, we'll fix them. Alright. It's about sun. Alright, it's time for a close-up here. Once I wipe up this last little bit of stain and flip it on there. Clean it up. Okay, so there is this version of the witch bottle. Especially for those folks who have joined the stream recently and have not seen the progress of the last few days. That is true. Darwinian evolution is, well, it's still in place. It's just selecting for different things. Hey, Mudflap, how's it going? It is turning out pretty awesome. This project is very near and dear to my heart now, because it's friggin' amazing. I still think that one's the best. But I like the fact that I can go red with this at a moment's notice. Alright, that flashes to all the colors. effect. Yeah, these lights are the cat's pajamas. Fade effect. I wonder why it switches to red when it does that. Oh, that's creepy. Smooth effect. Probably use the smooth effect on Halloween night. Or just keep it glowing evil green. I should have put the water level a little lower in this one, because you can't see that it's a fluid. Night Crafty Dirt, catch you around. Hello, Burn Ice. Thanks very much. I'm glad to have you here. Projects are coming along well. Very well. Let's throw this back under there. Grab this. Live water that needs to be changed out, but it's still good enough to do some cleaning. Let's get this cork. A little more spotless. Southeast England. Not anywhere near Southend-on-Sea, are you, by any chance? Hey, Mauricio. How we doing? Happy Halloween to you. Man, that does not want to clean off very well tonight. I may have gotten more mache splatter on this one than previous projects. In Kent, cool. I was in Southend-on-Sea, and I was in Raynham. Doing work many years ago, almost 9 years ago at this point. Yeah, it's close enough for now. Good, another finished, well, semi-finished bottle. I still got to burn the sigil into the disc there, but otherwise that just needs a final go over. All right. Take care, Twisted. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time around. Hopefully on Tuesday I will have my screen. Let's see if anybody in the Twitch community wants to come in as well. Thing is going to take forever to dry. What can we do now? Can seal this up. It's ready to go. That just needs to dry. That's a thing of mache paste. The Velcro can go back up here. Piece of cotton batting. I'm not doing any more prototype orbs. I got that one, I got this one, and I got that other one that wandered over here. That's still not as dry as I'd like it. It's still too friggin' fluffy. Some parts are alright, other parts really suck. I'm gonna hit that thing with a layer of mache. The watered down glue just isn't doing it for me on that thing. I could paint a pumpkin. Yes. As soon as I do that now, I'm gonna do that right now. This means I'm gonna have to move this back. Yes I am. I'm using, well, it's spar urethane versus spar varnish, which is close enough to the same darn thing for me to be happy. That brush is going to be all full of paint thinner. Alright, a sec, we're going to move around. This is watered down white glue, which doesn't need to be right here. Ooh. And actually, I'm going to take a break and use the bathroom before I do that. That way I know I am good to park it and work for at least another hour or so, hopefully. Be right back. Not bad. There we go. Thanks, Mauricio. It's good to just chillax and craft. No rush, no tension, no mistakes, no problems. Everything is fixable or moldable into something better than it was. Alright, we got to do the white inside of this. That went very, very yellow for being that clear urethane. Very yellow. I'm not worried about it, I'm just observing. Okay. Brush. Wow, a long-handled brush. Fantastic. It's reading my mind. Yeah, this is the beach ball pumpkin prototype. The inside was a 20-inch beach ball, which, in my opinion, is a lot easier to use than the stuffed trash bag method. Let's hope that is agitated enough. To Mexico? Well, the whole point of me doing the tutorials, amigo, is so you can make your own. Do them. Don't be a consumer, be a creator. And also with the time it takes with every pumpkin, the prices I would have to charge to break even on my time would be astronomical. And I don't think that's fair or cool or useful. So we make a tutorial, people make their own. One of those stubborn paint lids I've worked with a long time. There we go. Whoop. Thank you, Francois. I apologize, I've not taken French entirely too long. So, I will be able to do my best with your statements, but I can't guarantee I will have the best understanding of them. My Spanish is so-so, but French is 5th grade. Long time ago. 5th grade French is a lot like singing lots of Frere Jacques and other songs, so it's not the most intense. This one is added paper clay. This one, quite frankly, does not have many bulges. In fact, there's only this one because I figured this one would be up against a wall. And at the time I was doing it, I just wanted to get this as done as possible. But realistically, if I do this method again, I'll be doing the outermost mache layer. Then I'll take a strip of paper, masking tape it to it, mache layer over it, and just do that about 6-8 times to get my stuff. And thank you again, Francois. Because you can You could tie a somewhat limp beach ball with string, but the whole goal of the lid is being stuck on. The whole goal of the beach ball pumpkin is that the inside is a smooth surface. This is much, much easier to varnish and waterproof the inside of a beach ball pumpkin. Case in point, that's all just smooth around. This is going to go so fast doing the inside of this thing compared to a lumpy, bumpy, nooks, crannies, trying to get the varnish and the paint in there system. Girlfriends. Every now and again, you encounter a little bit of destruction. Oh well. Yes, paper mache and paper clay are different. Mache, realistically, is just layers of paper with your paste on it. And paper clay is the fluff plus the mache paste plus the joint compound. So, it is a slightly different animal. But, you know, it's like the steering wheel in the car. You really can't have one without the other. Unless you're an automated driving service, and, well, you roll the dice when you use those. Did I get a daub of paint? I did get a daub of paint on me. I thought so. Hey, Okrillo. It's not a scheduled thing. You don't have to be here. It's not mandatory. It's just kind of fun. We did a little bit of prototype witch orb stuff. We finished off the most recent witch bottle. Right now I'm putting the white on the inside of the prototype beach ball pumpkin. That's more or less what's going on. Yeah, beach ball pumpkin saves you time on the inside. It makes your shape a little more regular, which may or may not be a good thing depending on your ideal. And what else to do? It also limits your size based on the size of beach ball that you're using. But in terms of time it takes to finish and varnish the inside, it is so much better. Super, super better. And of course, if you stacked multiple beach balls, big ones, small ones, and played with it, you can modulate the shape as you see fit. It doesn't lock it completely. You can always just add extra paper bits and bulk up as you choose. Well, we did away with detention. For some reason, we got this strange barber chair. A gentleman by the name of Sweeney likes to use it on people who show up late. Beach ball comes out really easily. Yes. Very, very, very easily. Hey, Muggsy, how's it going? Yeah, I am live streaming like a fiend. Of course, that comes of the infamous teacher's summer vacation. I have a lot of time on my hands, and nothing pressing that really needs doing, so I'm going to do this because I'm having a blast. And I'm getting what I need. and getting feedback and people to chat with while I craft, because I hate crafting alone. Absolutely despise it. It's now fun, or it's not as much fun. There, that should be pretty good for tapping the ball. What? A little bit around the side. Only thing I hate about doing these is the acrobatics you have to put yourself through. Whew. Get them as painted as they should be on the intersections. There we go. I'll rip into that a little bit. A little bit. That's fine. Okay. Woo! Pumpkins made of clay in Mexico. Clay. Quite frankly, Mauricio, I don't think I've seen too many of them, if quite frankly any at all. I have seen some of the ones that are just like pottery type things, glazed. You can open them, put a candle in. They're more like crockery than anything else. And then there's the crappy foam ones that I rail against in my first video. The crockery ones can be quite nice. Yes, you can craft in detention. I hear you, Muggsy. I am glad to be back at it. This has been a very welcome re-inflaming after previous, well, suffice to say, you can kind of get in the doldrums in the summer where it's just like, what am I going to do? Nothing. I don't have to do anything. Yeah, it's just, it's garbage. I'd much rather be doing fun things. Of course, you don't realize at the time when you're not doing fun things. It's just like, kind of like when you're stuck in depression. It's just, Alright, well, I want to see if I can make it so it won't be such a nightmare to get this paint can open again. But if I do this too much, it's going to put a bunch of disgusted, dried, half-rusted paint in there. So let's leave well enough alone. That will be far, far better than screwing around with it until it is too late and too messed up. But in the meantime, we'll grab the black paint, start doing the outside of this pumpkin. Set up a little obstacle course so later on I get to trip and fall all over those things. Alright, black paint. Be right back for black paint and washing off paintbrush. There's so much crap in the sink. Where's my hammer? It's just you a few days ago. Where's the thing I had 10 seconds ago? My favorite game. Oh, that's where my hammer is. Okay. All is not lost. All is just a little annoying. Good, okay. The last drop before I go on a no alcohol journey. Let's go. Woo. Oh, let's give this a mix up first. Yep. This one is a beverage from a place called Earl Estates Meadery, which I patronize primarily because it is the closest to the stuff that I personally brew. A friend of mine and I found that their one recipe called Strawberry Shadows is almost identical to the stuff that I brew. This one is called Black Jewel, and it is their blackberry mead, and it is absolutely heavenly. Amazing, amazing stuff. Glorious, glorious mead. Well, it's more of a blackberry wine, really. It's a blackberry wine, honey wine mix. Good, still wet. Okay, let's also make sure that somewhere in this room, yes, I have a bucket for drying this thing. Let's do his top half today. Let's get this closer so I can see. There we go. Yes, I do, Sarah Duvall. And welcome to the stream. Yep. This is my last chance to have some wine with it, though, because I'm going on a med next week that is a do not have with alcohol. And I plan on following doctor's orders, so I'm making sure I get my last enjoyment in. Before that kicks up. You know, normally I do, Sarah, but the fear that I have is, especially with YouTube's copyright policies, that if I had anything going on in the background, I would not be able to have the stream, or my monetization might get kicked off. And I don't like being greedy necessarily, but I make very little off of this, and what I do make goes right back into pumpkin supplies. So it's also kind of a nice thing. It's like, you know, when you find out that your hobby can actually net you a few bucks on the side. It's just almost empowering to know, hey, yeah, I do something that, you know, is apart from my job, but, you know, people appreciate it enough to drop a few bucks. Not necessarily that you guys are, but, you know, the advertising companies that drop things in my stream, they like it. It's popular enough, yay! I have Halloween, Mauricio. I found a company that makes it. Yes, I did remove the beach ball before I carved the face. I put the paper clay on in a thin layer everywhere except the region that I knew I was going to be carving the face in. And then once the paper clay was set around most of it, I knew it had enough structural support. That's when I deflated the ball and pulled it out. And then I went to work on the face proper. Because as soon as you remove the ball, your internal structural support collapses. And if you just put your mache layers on and then pulled it out and then tried to add your paper clay on, there's a chance it would flop over like a dish rag. So, you gotta wait till the clay is in there well and good before you pop it. Not even pop it, you just deflate it. The lemonade is honestly a mass distributed brand. The name of the stuff, get your pencil ready because you're never going to remember it, is Nalewka Babuni. Nalewka Babuni. It is a fiendishly potent Polish honey wine based off of a type of beverage known as krupnik or krupnikas, which is a honey liqueur. If you played Nalewka Babuni backwards, or if you're talking music, I still wouldn't want to take the chance. YouTube copyright stuff is absolutely, annoying as heck. I have to deal with it almost every single time I release a tutorial because I have permission for a couple haunt artists to use their stuff. But I always get flagged on it, and it's always a hassle. Canadian horror, American Mary. I have not seen that one, honestly. It's been quite a while since I've really watched a horror movie, to be perfectly honest. The last horror movie I watched, though, was The Ritual. I distinctly do remember that one because it had a pseudo-Norse flair to it that I was eager to encompass and experience. This one is not in a tutorial. No. This was the experimental beach ball pumpkin, which I will probably at some point, very distantly, because it does not rank as high priority right now as the witch orb stuff, make a kind of a pumpkins revisited tutorial where I will throw in the beach ball pumpkin, any other effects, tips, and tricks that I have picked up. But quite frankly, the pumpkin process is still largely the same. And even the beach ball variant is just using a beach ball. That's it. There's nothing hideously special about it. There's no auxiliary techniques that really need stuff. I may give it a look, sir. Let's tell Alexa to remind me. Alexa, set reminder. Alexa. She's covered up. She's sleeping. Set reminder. She's really covered up. Wow. Alexa, set reminder.
What's the reminder for?
Horror movie, American Mary.
When should I remind you?
Let's see. 6 p.m. Which is is about when I'm going to wake up today, so I will have that. Yeah, this was the experiment. This is the how well does a beach ball work as a central form on the mache pumpkin concept. And it turned out pretty well. I'm not disappointed. Naluka Babuni. NALUKABABUNI. That is the stuff that those bottles come from. Realistically, though, if you have a recycling center anywhere near you, it might be a wise idea to hit up that establishment and see if any bottles that came in there suit your needs as well. Because there is a chance you might get those bottles, they will have their substance in them, and you may find that substance is absolutely not to your tastes. Because it is incredibly sweet and mildly floral and very potent. Very, very, very potent. Because it sneaks up on you. Corpo mente. Well, let's make sure I remember it. Alexa, set reminder.
What's the reminder for?
Band Corpo Mente.
When should I remind you?
6:05 p.m.
Okay, I'll remind you at 6:05 p.m.
That way I will know to take a look at it. Dark Crystal is fantastic. I'm a huge fan of Brian Froud's art and Jim Henson's, dare I say, genius in bringing it to life. When I was young and watched it, the Gartham gave me nightmares for weeks on end, and to this day I consider them an abjectly beautiful source of implementing terror and dread in an implacable form in video format. As creatures, they are inspirational. Large, menacing, alien-looking, and undeniably lethal by their size and demeanor. Let's see. Thank you, Sarah. Well, patience is definitely the key. Especially these days when many people are like, oh, it takes how long to make one? Well, I can't be bothered to do that. That's going to take too long. Well, then lose out. Your choice. I have a lot of students who were like that. I didn't do it perfectly in 5 minutes, so I can't do it. No, you just don't have any patience. That's the problem. That's it, Sergeant. Yep. A taste for what? Well, you know, honestly, there are a couple wonderful shows out there where they take vaunted wine experts and they give them cheap garbage wines, but they tell them that, oh, this is a Chateaubriand 1943, you know, one of the finest wines in the world. And these wine experts sit there and they sip it and they taste it and they go, oh yes, I can taste this aspect of it. This is definitely a Chateaubriand 43. And in fact, it's, you know, Bob's $2 plunk, and they are absolutely totally wrong. So drink what you like. If you like wine, drink wine. If you don't like wine, don't drink it. I honestly don't like wine because my stuff is more of a mead. I like the sweets, the berry wines and honey wines. But give me a bitter red and no thank you. If it's dry, then here's a towel. I ain't drinking it. Oh, $10.99? Great. Now you get a bottle too if you like it. Sarah, I know that Netflix is planning on releasing more episodes to the Dark Crystal. It's been on their kind of advertising stuff for quite a while. I think we've all been waiting for it. Very curious to see how they do, because regrettably I am not a fan of modern television and cinema compared to many of the older items that are out there. But I have high hopes. I mean, unless you really screw it up, you can't do it that badly. Let's see here. Oh yeah, I hope so. The comments should be available online. The whole running chat usually goes right with the video, so anybody can see what was said at any time. So nobody say anything that you will find embarrassing. Yep, chat goes up, comments go up. It's all there for posterity. It's a lot easier than editing. I'm sorry, I'm a little lazy on that front. This editing takes forever and it's not very fun. Let's see here. Yeah, Sergeant, I see you've done with many things. I haven't really heard of Martinelli's, to be honest with you. Yes, it is black paint, Francois. Oh yeah, it'll be there for you, Angela. You'll be able to scroll to Sergeant's comment there where he spelled it out. If you remember the timestamp, you can scroll right to it without slacking around too much. I'm getting to about as done on this as I want to be for this particular moment. How far down am I done this side? If I had a bucket, I could do a little bit more, but I'm not interested in pushing it. Oh, my word. I apologize. I do not plan on belching on this stream prodigiously. Need a glop to get in there. There we go. I hope that it stays true for the Dark Crystal as well. I find that entirely too many modern shows are obsessed with how many explosions and pieces of absolutely unrealistic action I can throw into a show. And I really dislike that, because it shouldn't be about explosions every 2 seconds and, insane starships crashing into it's an eyesore, especially when you get people defying the laws of physics way too often. My brain really loses it at that point. It becomes almost an insult to me. No paint, good. There's that one, yes. It is too early for pen and paper, I'll give you that. I do not sell pumpkins, Sarah. I do not at all. Sometimes I give them away, but I do not sell them because the amount it would take me to sell this, I should almost make an FAQ because I see this so many times. The amount it would take for me to make back what I put into a pumpkin would push it into the realm of, I want to say unaffordability, but for what it is, it would make it so far beyond the materials cost that it would just be ridiculous. I mean, based on what I make as a teacher, plus the health insurance plan I have and everything like that, in order to maintain even a kind of composite of that, it would be like $200 a pumpkin, which that's not what this is about. This is about the fact that this is so simple and so easy to do that anybody can get dirt cheap materials and make magnificent Halloween stuff from their imaginations. That's what it's all about. So I don't sell them for those two reasons. Moving right along. Yes, I do use them in the haunted yard that I do. They're my pumpkins for me to terrify local children with. Every single year. White is brighter for orange, but my pumpkin is going to be sinister and evil and dark. You can use white if you want a brighter undercoat, absolutely, but I like my pumpkins to be a little bit more shadowy and gross and half-rotted. Oh yeah, Sarah. Don't get me started on that one. Now, I love to hear the roar of a TIE fighter as much as the next nerd, but that's why I enjoy watching Firefly. Oh, space combat! It is dead silent. Why? Because that's how space sounds. Right, Cat? Hi, what are you doing? No, we're not into it? Okay. Alright, that one's going to go in a bucket and get dry. Adjust this so I don't whack into it when I stand up. Let's get the last of the paint off the brush over here. Go. All right, Furball, you ready to move? I hope you're ready to move. I'm coming at you. Going for a bucket with a pumpkin. There we go. Bucket. Pumpkin. Cat moving. And spot for dry. And it's not even going to fall over. That's wonderful. Okay. Yeah. That. Those things. Grab the brush. Wash the brush. And then grab another pumpkin. have another bucket for that other pumpkin. Should be one more pumpkin bucket. If there isn't, that won't matter. Yes, it's over there. Next, let's get another brush. I don't fancy getting paint thinner all over my hands. All right, for a ball. Another brush. Hey, Teddy cat. Good girl. Adjust. Park it. Hope that didn't hurt anything. Whew, and catch up. Let's see here. Brown paper towels. Yes, I like the brown paper towel because it's tears easy. Although this pumpkin is an experiment with standard Scott towel. All up in here. In here is Scott towel. Down here is Scott towel. This one also has cotton goobers around his mouth and eyes, and he has Scott towel root strands up high. So this is a conceptual experiment pumpkin as well. Let's get the lid on the black paint. I'll hammer that down later after the stream. Let's make sure that none of the delicate things I was working on earlier can get wrecked by this thing falling in weird, unanticipated directions. I need space. Need more space. I think I found some space. This is a test of the emergency crash clatter goddammit system. If you do not hear a clash clatter goddammit, that means this worked. If you do, please turn off your television sets and try again. Woo! We have passed the test of the clash clatter goddammit system. Nothing is going to fall until the worst possible time. Let's catch up. We've got full medical, some sort of dental. I don't really use it that much. And the rest of the benefits are pretty good here. I have watched Farscape. I enjoy Farscape quite a bit. Yeah, Broncos. That's part of Furball's prerogative. Show up every now and again. Largest or heaviest pumpkin is about this tall. Let me. There. This tall compared to this guy. So maybe about 2 feet-ish. And that has been the biggest pumpkin that I've ever made. It's not necessarily anything special about having a larger pumpkin, quite frankly. And almost regrettably, you'd think it would be like, ooh, giant pumpkin. But realistically, I would not make one too large, because then you run into the problem of, oh dear. Then you run into the problem of, sorry, I'm looking at the mess this is. The problem of internal reinforcement. You know, he didn't take that long, but again, you run into that internal reinforcement problem where that pumpkin, if you make it too big, is going to need either PVC or rebar or something inside of it, because the mache will just start collapsing under its own weight if you're unlucky enough to be in a situation like that. More varnish. Okay. I can't turn it that much because the stem will knock this varnish into my lap, and then I will be most annoyed, but very waterproof. So it's a trade-off, but not the kind I'd like to make. Let's put that lid over here. Yeah, storage definitely becomes an issue. At present, I have about a quarter of a garage dedicated solely to Halloween stuff, and even that is problematic, just because I got the other part of the garage with my actual personal stuff, and it'll just spiral out of control, and I still only have an apartment, so I do not want to end up in a situation where the only possessions I own are Halloween decorations. This is it. This is everything. I got my other stuff that I enjoy doing too. Yeah. Big storage issue potential for large projects. I am fortunate, at least in this art form, that the materials needed are wonderfully generic. What do I need? I need newspaper. I can get that from anywhere, anytime. I don't have to buy it ahead of time. I just head down to the Penny Saver, Depot. I make sure it's the day before they take their old paper out, because they throw them all away anyway and recycle them. I grab as many copies as I want, and that'll get me through quite a lot of pumpkineering with no screwing around required. Paint's easy, flowers cheap and easy, glue's cheap and easy. It's the other great thing about this art form. It's not a, hey, the buy-in price is a machine that costs $200,000. If you don't have this one particular thing, yeah, well, why even bother? Mache is not an elitist enterprise by a long shot. I do name my pumpkins. Yes, I do. My very first had big teeth. His name was Chompy. The biggest one's name is Biggie. The one with the witch hat's name is Hattie. You can probably sense the pattern here. And it is mostly simply for ease of talking about them during Halloween setup. If I tell my partner in haunting, go get Hattie, he knows exactly what I'm talking about. If I say, go get the pumpkin, he gets to stare at me blankly until I say, the one with the big witch hat. Oh, that one. So, we just say Hattie, Biggie, Chompy. I'm sure there's a few others. Some are rather generic and don't have much in the way of distinguishing features, so those are just, get a pumpkin, put it here, because this area needs a pumpkin. But the ones with the distinguishing features usually get names which are commensurate with that. Oh no, I leave them right out in the garage. No tubs required. The waterproofing that I do on them is enough to detract mice who would otherwise want to nibble on a fun flower bouquet. But they won't touch this stuff because it's all urethaned and done. I really don't care if spiders get into them. Spiders aren't going to do anything except make it more creepy and Halloween-y, which is fine by me. I was worried about mice, but mice do not touch these pumpkins, thank all the gods. I really don't document my finished stuff, quite frankly, just for the fact that if I want to see it, I walk down to the garage, and there they all are. I will often take pictures and post them on Facebook. In fact, I did that a lot more when I started, because it was, hey, look at this, I made this paper mache pumpkin. And that was even a lot of the factor of, that can't be paper mache. No, it's totally paper mache. There's no way that's paper mache, because that's what I said the first time I saw these things. It's like I can't believe it's not butter, except we're talking paper mache. I can't believe it's not plastic. No, it really isn't. We've reached the strange pumpkin hugs phase of waterproofing. Oh, we've also reached the doing a well-ventilated area phase of pumpkin waterproofing. Gracias, Mauricio. If I had a spider down there that was rather poisonous, or even had the potential to be, I probably would use tubs or something else, to be sure. But the worst we have here is the brown recluse. And that spider really does not, well, there's a reason they call it the brown recluse. It does not tend to stick around when humans show up. Its bite is not deadly, but severely annoying. Just, don't be an elderly person or a small child. I have that covered for a while. Hopefully. I hate doing in the mouth stuff. Oh, thank you, sir. I like to be a hollow spirit. Yeah, Sergeant, I've kind of taken to calling him Goober Face or Melty Face, because that's definitely his characteristic, to be sure. I might be done waterproofing this guy early, because this is annoying and not strictly necessary. Whew. Here, balance on your face. He does a trick. See, there he goes. He can do a face stand. Quick, pumpkin, stand on your face. Good boy. Yeah. That's why we moved the other project. Because that would have happened with it over there. Getting this guy done up may be the last thing I do tonight, just because once he is like this, it'll be very economical to leave him in this inverted drying position until tomorrow, when I can move him around more freely. Really looking forward to seeing what his face comes out like. And I'm probably going to have to exercise some more colors for him, because those goobers are going to have to get some special coloration. I don't think I'd like to live in an area with deadly animals that can hide, or potentially deadly animals, I should say, that can hide in nooks and crannies. That's why Australia living is right out for me. I'd say tropical rainforest too, but the humidity is majorly the reason for that. You don't have to worry about the poisonous animals when the air there will kill me just as well. Let's tip in a bit forward. Yeah. Excellent, excellent, excellent. That means he'll be ready for some black tomorrow. The other pumpkin will get completely black, assuming I am not completely lost to the orb project. I gotta make sure I save at least one bottle for my witch bottle tutorial. There we go. Let's get the underside of the stem. Call it a good day. Let's keep the urethane away from what's left of my tasty beverage. Speaking of which, that was easy. We'll just finish the tasty beverage. I do use a lot of storage tubs for my stuff, but that's mostly for organization and putting it all away. I know exactly which tub, which items go into, and that greatly expedites Halloween repacking. But totes and tubs are absolute super benefits to the haunter, particularly the home haunter. Other people done got warehouses for their crap, but we don't. Unless, of course, you work in that, in which case that was the, you know, the proverbial we. Alright. That is as good as it's gonna get. Yeah. Ah! I am not moving anymore. I'll just kill him. As good as that's going to get tonight. Good. Put that in the thinner. Clean that off in a minute. And ketchup. ASMR. I'll have to look that up. I have not heard of them. Paper mache. I watched a guy called Jim J. Walden and his how to do this video, and I decided to replicate it myself with the slight caveat that after I watched his video, my methods were slightly different, and I wanted to showcase them because he used a lot of bare newspaper in his, and he only paper clayed the sections that he was going to do some molding on. And I liked his pumpkin, but I thought I could do better. So after I saw his video, I did mine, and then I did my tutorial on how to do it so that folks could see my slant on the method, and then it just kicked off. And I was so impressed with the versatility of paper clay that it was just gone and running from there. It was too easy, too fun. All right. Well, gang, I am going to wrap this up because there's not that much left to do. And again, I would like to leave this guy here to dry overnight. This is a good spot for him. He's not going to get in any trouble there. So thank you all very much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate that. Again, this is the biggest burr for me, is crafting with people and not just sitting here alone, maybe listen to music. But yeah, you guys are awesome. So without that, I will say have a good night. And yes, Stalloween. And, you know, breaking off, but topical stuff too. Yes, Stalloween was also a big inspiration. His website is phenomenal. But now I really am breaking up. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. Have a good evening, and we will catch you later on. I'm going to go waddle in the other room and shut the stream down. We'll catch you later. Okay, obstacle course, obstacle course, obstacle course, obstacle cat, come on.